Sonic, Captain Bone, and Knuckles all hanging out and being best buds. Sonic and Captain Bone and Knuckles exchanging emails and returning my calls. Sonic Mega Collection, a compilation of all the Sonic Mega Drive games on the GameCube, and this time we're going to take a look at Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic and Knuckles, a 2D platformer released for the Mega Drive in 1994, 8 months after the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic and Knuckles was meant to be part of Sonic 3, but it said for that to happen the cartridge would have been the size of a child's head. Sonic and Knuckles was also the first game where you could play as Knuckles, but for that to happen, they had to take Tails out. So let's check this game out. Sonic the Hedgehog quote! Sonic & Knuckles is a 2D platform developed and published by Sega. This game continues where Sonic the Hedgehog 3 left off. Dr. Robotnik's Death Egg crashed down back on the floating island, as seen on the title screen, and Sonic needs to go after Robotnik before he restores the Death Egg again. Robotnik is after the Master Emerald that is being guarded by Knuckles so he can have unlimited fuel for the Death Egg. Robotnik tricks Knuckles by telling him that Sonic doesn't leave a 5% tip when he dines out, knowing that the Echidna race lives on tips as the minimum wage is so low. The game plays exactly the same as Sonic 3. Sonic and Knuckles can both spin dash, and Sonic has its insta-shield move and all the same abilities from the different elemental shields. Knuckles can't jump as high as Sonic, but he can glide and climb walls. He can also break down certain walls that Sonic can't, as he's a weak baby. Each zone, again, has 2 acts with a boss at the end. One of Robotnik's robots at the end of the first act, and then Robotnik and one of his machines in the second. Like in Sonic 3, there are only 6 zones in this game, but these zones are longer and harder than the ones in Sonic 3. Something I like about the zones in Sonic and Knuckles is the 2 acts are different. Like you are running through the desert in the first act and then you're inside a pyramid in the second. It gives the game's world a deeper feel to it, and I like that. The game looks and sounds just as good as Sonic 3. I love the music in the Sky Sanctuary zone. Sandopolis Act 2 is my least favourite level. I found it went on a little too long and was just a bit too hard at times, but I did enjoy most of my time with this game. It is short, but not as short as Sonic 3. There is one thing that Sonic 3 has that this game doesn't, which I wish it did, and that's the save feature. I died a lot and sometimes got some game overs and wish there was a save I could go back to instead of needing to start from the start again. It's a longer and harder game than Sonic 3 and it should have had a save feature. Once you've gone through the volcano, you reach the Hidden Palace where you fight Knuckles, who is guarding the Master Emerald. Knuckles has had years of training with the League of Shadows. Wait, that's the plot to Batman Begins. Oh well, it's pretty much the same, but he's still no match for Sonic. After Sonic kicks his red anus, Dr. Robotnik comes along and steals the Master Emerald. Knuckles tries to stop him, but Robotnik shocks him. Ew, can you believe that's what we all look like on the inside? Robotnik gets away with the Master Emerald and flies away to use the Master Emerald to power the Death Egg. Knuckles takes you to the Sky Sanctuary where you face off against Mecha Sonic, another robot Sonic. I think Robotnik has a crush on someone. When you defeat him, you run up a pole and jump onto the Death Egg. Once you reach the end of Death Egg Zone, you face against Robotnik and his giant Eggman Robo. The first part of this boss is easy. You just spin dash to destroy his fingers. But then he starts chasing you, shooting fire out of his nose and shooting a laser beam from the power of the Master Emerald. This is by far the hardest boss in any Sonic game so far. You need to time your jumps just right to avoid the beam, and then you need to hit him in just the right place. I had a lot of trouble here. Sometimes I'd hit him and sometimes I'd fall right through him, but after 8 hits the giant Eggman Robo explodes and Robotnik tries to get away with the Master Emerald. You need to hit him another 8 times, but be careful not to fall off after defeating him. The Death Egg then explodes and Sonic and the Master Emerald will fall from space. The Master Emerald will float away and Tails will catch Sonic and take him to the floating island that's fallen into the ocean, and the credits will roll. After the credits, Robotnik will be laughing at you with the Master Emerald. How'd he get that back? Looks like you're gonna need them old Chaos Emeralds. You get the Chaos Emeralds the same way as you did in Sonic 3, by finding giant rings that take you to special stages where you need to go through the blue spheres to get the Chaos Emeralds. You can surround a section of blue spheres to turn them into rings. If you collect over 50 rings, you'll get a continue, and if you get all the rings, you'll get a perfect, which will give you more points towards your score. These special stages are a lot harder than the ones in Sonic 3, but are just as enjoyable. There's a lot of giant rings around in the first 4 zones, so you have a lot of chances to get the emeralds. Once you get all the emeralds, you can turn into Super Sonic. Look at him go! Once you defeat Robotnik on the Death Egg with all the Chaos Emeralds, you go to the Doomsday Zone, where you are Super Sonic chasing down Robotnik who still has the Master Emerald. You first need to destroy his getaway ship, and then the giant Eggman Robo holding the Master Emerald. You also need to collect rings so you can stay in your super form. This boss is tough, but it is fun. Once you finally defeat the Eggman Robo again, he drops the Master Emerald and Sonic grabs it. He then falls from space where Tails catches him in the Master Emerald, where they return it to the floating island and it starts to float again, and the credits roll. But after the credits, one of Eggman's robots rises up. This is where Knuckles' story comes in. The story starts after the event of Sonic's. With the Master Emerald back and the floating island floating again, Knuckles decides to take the day off from his job at the local dry cleaner to hang out with his little animal buddies. Just before they start a game of Uno, a bomb comes down and ruins their day. Egg Robo comes down and laughs and flies away. Knuckles is fuming, as that was his new deck of Uno cards and he wants the $7.99 it cost back and chases after him. Knuckles goes through the same zones as Sonic but can go places Sonic can't by breaking certain walls. Instead of facing off against Robotnik, you face off against Egg Robo, one of Robotnik's minions. Knuckles' game is a bit like a hard mode, with harder stages and bosses, but you only go through 4 zones. Once you get to the Sky Sanctuary, you face off against Mecha Sonic who destroys Egg Robo. You take out Mecha Sonic, but then he jumps on the Master Emerald and turns super. You can only hit him when he comes out of his super state for a few seconds. After 8 hits he'll explode, destroying the Sky Sanctuary in the process. The Master Emerald disappears and Sonic saves Knuckles in the tornado. Since when can Sonic fly a plane? He's a hedgehog. Tails makes sense, he's a fox. But a hedgehog flying a plane? I don't think so! The floating island then falls from the sky while the credits roll. After the credits, Mecha Sonic comes back with the Master Emerald. Looks like we're gonna need the Chaos Emeralds. Again. You get the Chaos Emeralds the same way with Knuckles as you do with Sonic. Once you have all 7 Chaos Emeralds, Knuckles can turn into Super Knuckles. He looks the same as normal Knuckles, but flashes red and pink, and maybe grows fangs? It's hard to tell. Super Knuckles is faster and invincible, but unlike Sonic, if you have an elemental shield and double jump, you'll still turn into Super Knuckles. After defeating Super Mecha Sonic with all the emeralds, Sonic will catch Knuckles with the Master Emerald, and they will fly to the floating island where they return the Master Emerald, and the floating island will start to rise back into the sky, and the credits will roll. Afterwards, you'll get the final ending of the game of Knuckles punching in space. He's in space?! Sonic & Knuckles is a good game, but what else can I say about it? It looks, sounds and plays the same as Sonic 3, but it is longer and harder. Knuckles is a fun addition with his gliding and climbing ability, but his story is shorter than Sonic's. But Sonic & Knuckles gets Captain Bone's bone of approval. So I gotta go sell my hair to a wig maker so I can afford food. I guess that's why they call me Captain Bone. Wait, what?